And then I don't really like bringing up that other stuff that we talked about that was personal.
Yeah.
Because I could tell, like, I don't know, she feels a way about the truth and how it make her look. But nobody blaming you. We was all kids. I said, I love my sister. Like, stop doing that. So she reposted it and said, pray for us. All right, cool. Jason Lee dropped an interview. She insinuating stuff.
Because it's just all, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not the police, but I'll just leave it at that. Well, I'll say a little bit. He ran up on Chrisean when she was out in public.
He did, and then he had a paternity test coming up or something.
And then it was all online.
And then it was pow, pow, pow. No paternity test. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, his soul.
So, for my sister Tesheki to come on there and say what she said, I just couldn't believe it. Like, you just throwing your sister under the bus whole time. This is my thing now. Chrisean had nothing to do with that.
So Chrisean steps on an interview to discuss a few things, and a couple of the things we're going to discuss today has everything to do with Teseki's interview with Jason Lee, Chrisean expressing how she felt thrown under the bus by Teseki's interview regarding her ex Ronnie Doe, rest in peace to Ronnie, and then we're also going to discuss how and why she's continuing to hold on to the narrative that she was some way abused by Tesehki when they were kids. Now, is y'all ready to talk about it? Let's juice.
Come on, Blazer.
It's a beef for me.
Wow, 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 wow. For your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we live.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Voodoo Doll TV, back with a quick little juice or whatever the case may be. And girl, we got to discuss this interview Chrisean did with the Danza Project. And we also need to discuss the controversial issues that were brought up in this doggone interview that has been going viral and that a lot of people are talking about nowadays. Now, this is the thing. Chrisean, as we know, has been kind of keeping a cool, low profile, not really in the way of a lot of things up until recently. Now you're seeing her on random lives. Now you're seeing her at random places. Now you're seeing her doing interviews all over the place. And this most recent interview with the Danza Project has gone viral for a few things in the interview. Now, a lot of things were said in this interview, some things regarding Junior, which we'll discuss on another video. She also discussed, well, at least they tried to discuss a little bit of her upbringing, but it seems like she was a bit lost for words and may have forgotten a few things that were said in the past, not sure. But either way, outside of that, a couple of the things that we're going to speak about in this video is when Chrisean spoke about her standing on the square of something happening between her and Tesehki when they were kids. And then also we're going to discuss how she felt about Tesehki, in her words, throwing her under the bus by insinuating that she may have had something to do with the passing of Ronnie Doe. Now we're getting ready to get into this whole situation, you guys. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and leave a comment under the comment section and let me know how you feel about this situation, okay? All right, let's get right on into the first situation. First, we're going to start off with Chrisean's ex, Ronnie Doe. Now, first and foremost, I would like to say rest in peace to Ronnie Doe. He was the alleged father of Chrisean Jr., which he had been going around advocating for and saying for a long time. He even went down to the courthouse to petition paternity of Chrisean Jr., and unfortunately, his life was tragically cut down before he can get the results to said paternity request. Let's get into a few clips of Ronnie Doe and his quest to find out if he was the father of Chrisean Jr.
Junior's life, it doesn't need to depend on a career. Junior deserves to know his potential biological family without anybody's career being in consideration. We should be putting this child first. We should be putting this boy first. And I just want to let y'all know whether it go my way or if it don't go my way. I just need closure. And I know everybody won't understand it. Everybody don't have a father. Everybody ain't a stand-up individual. However, I'm doing this to save Junior. I'm doing this to...
He was born. He was born in Baltimore. I was with Chrisean when her water broke. You get what I'm saying? So I seen him. Yeah, I seen. I'm telling you too much. I'm telling you too much. Long story short, I seen baby boy when he came out the hospital.
You were at the hospital when she had the baby?
Next question.
No, I need to know that.
Next
I
question.
want to know. Please.
Next question. I personally feel like Zeus manipulated the results to control the narrative.
If Junior is not my son, I deserve to have that proven to me through what? A DNA test. If Junior is not my son, the DNA test will prove that. Right or wrong? Right. Any father on here, any real man, stand-up man that potentially has the privilege of being a father would want to make things right and would want to know if that's his child. Yeah. Around that time, Blue know what's up. Chrisean was back and forth from what? LA to Baltimore. LA to Baltimore. Y'all know that.
Concrete evidence right here for y'all. All I want y'all to do is hold people accountable so that Chrisean Jesus Porter can have the life that he deserves and the father that he deserves. Y'all, so the child support office, and I had to fill out an application. So now everything is about to be going, y'all. So I turned in the packet. Everything is good. So Junior and Chrisean will probably hear something in the next 4 to 6 weeks. The lady told me it takes about a month and a half, 2 months for the process to go through. But I did get the application and I did turn it in and the process is rolling. So in the next 4 to 6 weeks, God willing, Chrisean is going to be required to do a court-ordered paternity test.
So as you can see, that was Ronnie Doe, and unfortunately he passed recently. We are still not sure what happened to Ronnie Doe. We just know that he was actually coming up on a court case to where Chrisean Rock would be forced to give him a paternity test, and right before that could happen, unfortunately, he was unalive. Now, we found it odd that the day this happened, or the morning after we found out about this happening, Chrisean posted the fake paternity test that was done on Zeus that Ronnie even mentioned in these videos. So a lot of people started to wonder if Chrisean had anything to do with the passing or the untimely passing of the brother Ronnie Doe, rest in peace. But we haven't found out anything yet. But the streets had been talking and buzzing about this situation, and fingers had been pointing to Chrisean. Now, this is where things get crazy. So apparently, Tesehki and Chrisean, obviously, as we know, had not been speaking. One of the things that really cut the whole thing in half as far as their relationship was the time Chrisean accused Tesehki of doing something to her when she was a little kid and Tesehki was a kid as well. Let's get into a few of these clips.
Nobody lied. I know what happened when I was 7 and we was in the village. And this is too much. This is too much. I remember when I was 7. You made me eat your pussy. I remember that too. You said what? Because it's like everybody in my family know I'm not lying about what actually happened to me, bro. Y'all think I want to sit up and say what happened to me when I was a kid because nobody was watching? Me saying what I said wasn't to drag her or bash her name or stop motion. Nothing. You feel me? It was just a voice of why we are the way we are for real. Cause I think she think that I forgot. I don't blame her because it's like you was a kid too. Whole thing with my sister, Chastity. I love chastity. So when I start putting my boundaries down, I stopped sending money to my sister Chastity. As soon as I let go of my association with her and my resources of who I was to her, she picked a side because that side was needed. Like, she only picked Latifah's side because frankly, both of them need each other at the same time. She don't got no money. Cause I'm not responding. Tifa low-key beefing with me because of the internet.
How do you feel about those allegations being thrown at you do you want to address that?
It hurt. But at the same time, when you know something isn't true, it really can't faze you. You know what I mean? You're still gonna get up and move the same way you would move. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm that girl.
So as you can see, Chrisean had made allegations toward Tesehki, speaking on some alleged SA when they were both kids. And that kind of came out, in my opinion, during a Mad Day situation. But either way, it came out. And Tesehki had been denying these allegations ever since. Well, Tesehki then goes to the Jason Lee show. And she had a lot to say regarding Chrisean. She had something to say regarding her ex-relationship with Ronnie Doe, which could have inadvertently thrown Chrisean under the bus. And she also had a few other things to talk about as well. But as it pertained to Ronnie Doe, Tesehki did an interview with Jason Lee, and she spoke about the allegations of what could have possibly happened to Ronnie Doe. And she also insinuated the fact that Chrisean, and she never said her name, but the insinuation kind of led us toward that. But she kind of insinuated that Chrisean could have possibly had something to do with it. You guys, take a look at this clip from the Jason Lee show, and I'll come right back for some commentary.
Okay, speaking of Chrisean's baby, there was a guy online from Baltimore who was claiming to be her baby dad. He ended up getting murdered, right?
Yes.
He really did get murdered? I mean, I saw that online. That was real?
Yes, that was.
And you knew, did you know him?
Pieces, so yes, I fed that boy.
How did he end up getting murdered? Was he in the streets, in the stuff, or was that just a random thing?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I can't even speak on it. But if I was to speak on it, it don't look too good for certain people that we know. So I'm not going to speak on it. Like,
well, because it's just all, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not the police, but I'll just leave it at that. Well, I'll say a little bit. He ran up on Chrisean when she was out in public.
He did, and then he had a paternity test coming up or something.
And then it was all online.
And then it was pow, pow, pow. No paternity test. I'm sorry. Rest in peace, his soul.
That's sad.
It's very sad, especially because I fed him. We had a little argument before. It's just like we were family. I'm gonna be honest. That little boy really loved her.
Did he?
Me being real, all this camera. We back in the streets. We back around the way. That little boy loved her.
So they were a thing.
It was passionate, but it was giving cloudy.
It was.
And that's why I just don't care to speak on it.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys heard that, and I'm not going to lie. From the outside looking in, it does look like Tesehki is throwing Chrisean under the bus. Even though I am a believer that if Chrisean had anything to do with it, that she's held accountable. So we're not going to say hide for Chrisean per se, but ultimately as a sister, from that perspective, I understand what it looks like. And it does look bad. It looks like Tesehki is just throwing Chrisean under the bus. Now, originally, Chrisean spoke on the interview, but she didn't really say too much. But then recently, she did the dance project, and she had a whole lot to say in response to this clip that we just saw from Tesehki. So you guys take a look at some of the things Chrisean had to say.
I'm on Tyler's stream. He said something, and he tried to say, "You can't be Tesehki. You can't." And I'm like, I love my sister, but he kept saying, "You can't be Tesehki. You take it." And I said, I love my sister. Like, stop doing that. So she reposted it and said, "Pray for us." All right, cool. Jason Lee dropped an interview. She insinuating stuff. Because Jason Lee asking about my ex that died. So she insinuating shit.
Messy.
Like, you're weird. Bitch, I'm on paper. You know, if I did anything, they would know. Stop playing with me. Say if I started beef with you and say we hung out once or twice.
Yeah.
And then I use that once or twice as like a motive to say, oh yeah, so he did this and this and that, this and this and that, just to get a couple $1,000s from you because you gonna pay to interview me about you because you that nigga. You feel me? Yeah. So that shit was annoying. And then, like, for him to run up on me with a ski mask in the mall with gloves, like, strapped up, like, with my son. Nobody asked me, am I okay? Like, that's weird. For real. And it's crazy because
So y'all saw that, and I'm not gonna lie, in Chrisean's defense, if I was her, I would feel a way about that interview as well, especially if they were supposed to be trying to work on a relationship. Like, don't go on an interview and then kind of like throw me under the bus. From that perspective, I understand Chrisean's frustrations, and honestly, she has every right to feel the way that she feel. Tesehki was kind of like dry snitching, but at the end of the day, also, if Chrisean did what she did, then she deserves to be in prison. Y'all already knew it was coming. It is what it is. But anyway, Chrisean was not feeling that interview, which was surprising because we would have thought she would have said something on another platform. But who knows? Maybe she felt like she needed to get to a bigger platform or somewhere where she's doing an interview to kind of get her feelings off. But either way, she wasn't feeling it. And she really had some more words for Tesehki as well as it pertains to who and what she is. Check this out.
and be like, I miss her. Like, bro, go to hell. Like, leave me alone. Like, what do you keep, like, you know, like, I'm tired of people doing interviews and all they can talk about is me for a highlight. Like, you can't talk about yourself.
Can't make it tasteful.
For real.
At least real conversation.
Like, you're literally Chrisean's sister.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Chrisean was not shy about how she was feeling about Tesehki, especially in reference to her speaking on the situation between Chrisean and Ronnie. Now, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, how I feel. I feel like whatever they say Chrisean did, she did it. That's just me. She was very suspicious by posting that doggone paternity test the morning of us finding out what happened to him. A lot of things have been kind of quieting down around Chrisean, and then boom, that happened. So to be honest, in my opinion, I don't trust anything Chrisean says, but also I understand why she felt the way she felt. It is what it is. But you think Chrisean was done with Tesehki there? No, she had more to say, okay? Now, Chrisean also took this time during the interview to double down on some past recent comments that were made or allegations that were made regarding Chrisean and Tesehki when they were kids. Now, a lot of you guys may or may not be familiar with this, but Chrisean has been vocal here in the recent last year or so. Maybe, honestly, some will say maybe a few years, but she's been vocal about her situation in the home and growing up in the environment with her siblings, and one of those things that she spoke about were an allegation regarding Tesehki basically saying that when they were kids that basically they were being touched or something. Now, on this channel, we spoke about how deep this allegedly runs in the family, and it goes all the way back to the grandparents and probably beyond. And we also spoke on how, if this is true, these two were young girls, kids actually, and they did not know what they were doing. But however, we don't know what happened. All we know is what's being alleged, and this is what's being talked about. So I guess in the midst of thinking about this whole situation, rehashing old situations and allegations, Chrisean had enough, and she basically went out and doubled down on the original allegations of allegedly essaying her when they were kids. So check out Chrisean, and I'll come back with some commentary.
And then I don't really like bringing up that other stuff that we talked about that was personal.
Yeah.
Because I could tell, like, I don't know, she feel a way about the truth and how it make her look. But nobody blaming you. We was all kids. Like, nobody was supervising us. So, you know, like, I'm not blaming you, but let's call it for spade for spade. Let's call it truth. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like when people be like, oh, yeah, you lying. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
To say I ate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's embarrassing, bro. Like, what the? All right.
And you're vulnerable. And
For real, bro. Like, come on, yo. Like, that's annoying. And then it's crazy because I be quiet. I don't do interviews. I don't, like, I'm not like that, but my nephew been coming out about some stuff. Like, I've been saying stuff for the longest. I just never, like, clearly said it. But, like, my fans even picked up on it. Like, years ago, 2020, 2022, when I will go live and say certain shit, like insinuating the truth. She insinuate lies. Like, I don't know. I thought we was doing good when she said pray for us up until like she started like doing other stuff. Like my family not with what she was doing on that interview with Jason Lee. Like that was evil.
Yeah.
Like stop playing with me.
All right, you heard that. And Chrisean basically said that she wasn't too happy about the situation with Tesehki going on that interview and insinuating things the way that she did. And she also spoke about basically doubling down on the fact that whatever she alleges happened did happen. Now, I am in no way positioned to say that Chrisean is lying or telling the truth. I do find it very opportunistic as far as the timing of it all. But ultimately, that's Chrisean's story, not mine to tell. But ultimately, now I'm pretty sure this tore a bigger rift between Chrisean and Tesehki, because just when they thought they were getting on a good page, it turns out apparently, I guess they're absolutely not, because Chrisean is back to square one with the beef, it seems, with Tesehki, okay? Now, as this all goes on, obviously the older sister, China, she's hearing about all this stuff that's happening, and she chimed in, and it kind of like corroborated what Chrisean was speaking of when she says that the family isn't really feeling Tesehki going around doing these interviews. Check this out.
So for my sister Tesheki to come on there and say what she said, I just couldn't believe it. Like you just throwing your sister under the bus whole time. This is my thing now. Chrisean had nothing to do with that. From what I gathered and what I heard, it was over $30. It was some dudes that he was beefing with. So why would you want to put that on Chrisean? Like it's given like she trying to destroy Chrisean. She'll sit there and fake cry and do all that. I love my sister, blah, blah, blah. If you love your sister, then why would you do what you just did? Make it make sense. Every time I try to pray for your family to make up, Tesheki reminds me of why she is just, it's sad. Like, so I called my little sister Chastity last night. I'm like, Chastity, I sent her the video clip that was sent to me, and I'm like, look at this.
Okay, so y'all heard the oldest sister, China, and that's what she had to say about the situation. And honestly, as I'm thinking about it from a perspective of a family member, then I understand the sentiments of China and even of Chrisean. And also, if I'm thinking as a person on the outside looking in who wants justice for Ronnie, I don't care. And if she did it, send her to prison. Period, point blank. But I think that it's messed up that we back to where we were at the beginning. However, this is where we are. Now, I will say this for Tesehki, I don't think she worries about anybody doing anything to her. I don't think she's over there looking over her shoulders wherever she is. But I do think that both Chrisean and Tesehki probably have some conniving ways on them that a lot of people in the other parts of the family don't really deal with particularly. They seem to be more on the same page than the other sisters, in my opinion, from where I'm sitting way far out in the nosebleeds. But who am I to say? So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I think nobody wins when the family feuds, but it looks like Chrisean family and the Malones are used to losing. So who cares about winning in this part? I'm just kidding. Not kidding, but still kidding. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. Now, I do want to say this, though. Chrisean has been steadfast on the Yahweh tour. She's over here cosplaying as a Christian, and the Christians are so foolish. They are just allowing it to happen, and I'm just sitting here watching, waiting for Blueface to come out and her to blaspheme and get rid of all Christianity altogether, because it's definitely coming. But my thing is this. When it comes down to the Malone family, I'm still interested in seeing who these people are as a unit. I want to see from the mother, the father, all the way down. I would love to see the dynamic of this family and how everything really works. Because, see, we just got like the bottom half of it as it pertains to Chrisean and Tesehki. And when I say the bottom, I mean like they're the younger ones. I would love to see the dynamic from the beginning to the end. I'm pretty sure it's hilarious. I'm positive it's hilarious. However, it's probably a lot of things that we can all relate to, because honestly, this Malone family is a mess. It's a huge mess. And to be completely honest, sometimes I think about it and my heart goes out to them. And then sometimes they do stuff and say stuff to where I just be like, child, they'll be all right. And honestly, for the ones in the middle, for the ones who are truly in the middle, which I don't know who are, but for the siblings who are truly in the middle and feel like they're being stuck and pulled and tugged between a rock and a hard place, I honestly wouldn't know what to do in that situation. I probably would just be neutral and probably try not to listen to most perspectives on the situations at hand. But ultimately, I know that's probably hard as well. And that probably leaves a lot of people in the middle. But Chrisean and Tesehki is back beefing again. And hopefully, since Zeus is off the table, they could probably find a way to reconcile and work this out, but it's not looking good for the Malone family. Now, before we get out of here, I need you guys to do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment under the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. And then also, y'all, take a look at this old video that I pulled of one of the sisters speaking about how she tries to stay neutral in the situation between Tesehki and Chrisean. Honestly, like I said, I wouldn't know what to do in that situation, but this is her take on it. I'm going to leave her with you. And you guys, I look forward to your comments in the comment section, and I'll check y'all later. Peace.
Room for more growth and more maturity to take place, then I can step in. Because then, you know how you ever been in a situation where you want to help a situation, right? And you come to help, but somebody go against you, and then once they go against you, you turn up on them. But it's like, now your purpose is dead. Now you're not even serving the purpose that you in what you came for. Now you turn into them. So it's like, I don't want to step into something and then kill out my purpose, in which why I even stepped in the first place, because I'm not trying to be disrespected. So I feel like I got another level of maturity to enter into and some more growth. They got more growth. I pray we got time. You feel me? I pray God give us the time to get it right. You understand? But sometimes you could be so right about something, but you're not seasoning it with love, that you're totally wrong. I ain't trying to be that woman. You know what I'm saying? No, not at all. I despise that type. You know what I'm saying? It remind me of a CO. No. You know. I miss Taylor. Yes, I keep in touch with all my sisters. You know, hearing my aunts and them stories, it's already in me. What's in us is in us. That's what I had to tell Chrisean. When she first was standing with Blueface and all, I'm like, what's in you? The thing is, you got to keep your eyes open, breathe, swing, and throw your weight when you swing, like, and don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It's in you. Don't fear, we fear no man. No question, but I admire you. No question, but I remind you of remaining humble, not choosing sides in the family drama. Yeah, it's no point, because it's always three sides to a story. Their side, your side, their side, and the total truth. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm not getting into all of that. Like, even, that's what I used to hate growing up. They be like, you're always trying not to pick sides. Well, I'm not about to. I'm not about to. Because you could be dead wrong and it sounds so true. And you could be lying and it sounds so true. And there's the truth. And then when the truth come out, I was just mean to you, just talking to you crazy and just handled you this way because that felt like this and that was like that. And I was dead wrong. I'm not that woman. I'm not trying to ever be. That ain't me. Yeah, I kind of wish I could have been, but the way Zeus showed their hand to me, nah. Like I say often, like, you fool me once, it's a shame on you. I'm going to leave that shame on them for playing with me how they play with me, because I shook, leave me hand at the table, and we talked and we discussed, and I had my contracts right there. But he still, you know, slithered in how he could and found a weak link and did what he did, and he went against what we shook on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, you showed me. So I ain't present myself and I'm not coming. But had it not happened, I think it would have been good for me to be there. Chrisean initially asked me to go, but I had to decline. My reasons being is they crossed us. I lost my best friend. That was very detrimental for me. Those that are close to me, shout out to Lisa Longwood, those that cared for me, those that was really rocking with me at that time, different people that was there for me, but that's the main one that understood the pain that was coming through. Like, they played with us. You understand? I can't be a part of it. Even the other show that's coming, I just can't be a part of it. They played with us. You know what I'm saying? We would have to sit down and negotiate, and so I'm always coming with my own contracts. You know what I'm saying? That's just that. So, you know, I like business and I love negotiating. I like to sit at the business tables. You know what I'm saying? But, too, I plan on going to any of PD games. What? I plan on being on the field, on the sideline. How about Steph Arm, baby? Go! Yes, that's when God permit the time for me to be able to do so. Like, we're going to Sabbath for Rest. If he got games going on, Sabbath for Rest is something that happens at my church. We're going to rest for each quarters, and it's 4 quarters each season. We have a certain type of rest time frame that we go on. If that happens and God permit, I can go. I will definitely show my face and be there. Yes, in the crowd, hoarse afterwards. I guarantee. Yeah, I'm one of those. Yeah, I wouldn't mind sitting down with them off too. But like I said, I'm waiting. If God permit us, you know, I pray we all live and be able to see that day. Willingly, I would definitely do a sit down with them.
I clearly precisely said no.
Well, people talk like me, sound like me. Yeah, we had to fight outsiders a lot, not each other.
What kind of questions they asking you?
I don't know. It's a lot of them. It's so many of them. I'm just trying to pick and choose.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo doll time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.